Hello, my name is Aidan and this is a tutorial for introductory GIS mapping using the public software Qgis. I will cover in this video how to apply layers of one of the principal data types, vectors. I will also demonstrate a range of beginner GIS tools and processes, including adding vector layers to a map, clip, export by selection, symbology, select by expression, count points in polygon, and statistical summary. Currently open on my desktop is a folder containing all of the data layers that I will be adding to my map. It will be more important later on to keep an organized folder of all our project's relevant files. I have 3 vector files in my project folder, 2 containing polygon data, the Vermont County boundaries layer, and the flood hazard zones layer, and 1 containing point data, the Chittenden County housing units layer. Vector data is often discrete polygons, lines, or points, and is formatted as a .shp file. These data were publicly accessed through the Vermont OpenGeo data portal, linked in the description of this video. I will now open QGIS, create a new project, and save this project with the title to my data folder. It's important to save frequently throughout the project and to also ensure that your QGIS map file is in the same location as your other data layers. To fill our blank screen here, I will add the data layers to the current map. I will go to Layer in the top ribbon here, Add Layer, and since we know we have vector data, I will choose to add a vector layer. Over here by these 3 dots, I will choose to browse our files, and this is where it becomes important to make sure you're in the right folder with the right data layers and ensure that the path is correct. After I add each layer, I'll quickly ensure that the geometry is appropriate and appears on the map space. Once all 3 layers are added, I will toggle the visibility of the different layers to ensure they were added correctly and to familiarize myself with them. Over on the left side of the screen here in this layers panel, we can see each data layer that we added to our map. We have the Vermont County boundaries layer in this brown layer here. We have the flood hazard areas for the state of Vermont. And these yellow points represent the housing units of Chittenden County. I will now select Chittenden County from the attribute table of the Vermont County boundaries to isolate the Chittenden County boundary. Right-clicking on the county boundaries layer allows me to open the attribute table. I will now select Chittenden County from the list of Vermont counties here. Right-click to open this menu on the county boundaries layer. And export these selected features as a new layer. I'm going to make sure that the path is correct and that this is saved in the same file as all the rest of our relevant data layers. And I will name this file Chittenden County Boundary. It's important to be consistent with your naming styles so you don't get confused as to which layer is which. Now, if we turn off some of our other layers to improve our visibility, we can see that we have isolated the boundary for Chittenden County. Now that we have isolated the Chittenden County boundary, we'll use the clip tool to scale our flood hazard zones layer to the extent of Chittenden County. The clip tool is a vector tool, so underneath vector on the top ribbon here, geoprocessing tools, I will select clip. For the input layer, we want our flood hazard areas because this is the layer that we want to be clipped to our boundary. And for the overlay layer, I will select Chittenden County boundary. If we were to run this program now, it would create a temporary layer that would not save when we exit from the program. So I will select the 3 dots here to browse and save to a file in our project folder. I'll name this file Chittenden Flood Has Zones. Now that our flood zone layer is clipped to the appropriate bounds, we will isolate the different flood zones within this layer using the Selection by Expression tool. To access this tool, we will open up our layer menu here. We will open the attribute table. Within the attribute table for flood hazard zones, we see this zone subtype field, which includes the different distinctions of flood zones that we have in our map. Now we can select features using the expression in this tool here. This opens the expression builder menu. From the list of variables in the center, as we see here, we'll use these to construct our expression. We're going to navigate to fields and values. We're going to go to our zone subtype field that we identified before, and we're going to double click to add that. Now to select based on the contents of that field, we will use the like keyword as well as some specific syntax as seen here. To ensure that we're selecting based on the correct parameters, I'm going to generate all the unique field values on the right side of the builder to see what composes the selected field. And I'll insert that by double-clicking into the builder. Now that we see we have no errors in our function, we will select those features. And we see that in the attribute table, they are highlighted, as well as on the map as well, as seen in yellow. For each selection, we want to repeat a step from earlier and save our selection as a new layer. We will repeat this step for the next two layers. Now that all of our layers are properly clipped, selected, generated, and formatted, we will now adjust the symbology and toggle off unwanted layers to make the map easier to understand. You can also drag layers in this left screen over here to change the ordering of them. To access the symbology menu, I'll double-click on each layer, navigate to symbology, and adjust the settings within this menu to properly represent the data. I will change the size, the color, the outline to ensure that the data is properly represented. Now that we have three unique polygon layers, our housing points layer and our background layer, we can now analyze spatial relationships of our map. Under the Vector tab, we will use the Count Points in Polygon under Analysis Tools to analyze the number of houses within each of our newly generated layers. The polygon I will select will be different each time and will be each of the three hazard zone layers that we identified. And the points layer will be the Vermont housing Chittenden County data. And again, we will make sure to save this file to our project folder. For our final step, from each of the new count layers, we will use this purple symbol on the top ribbon to apply a statistical summary to each count layer. Within our statistical summary window, we will first choose the 500-year flood hazard zone. We will select the newly generated num points, which is the result of our count execution. And we see that we have 186 houses within the 500-year flood zone in Chittenden County. We will then select the floodway hazard zone, and we see that we have 18 houses in Chittenden County within the floodway. We will then go to the last layer, which is the minimal flood hazard risk zone, and see that we have 53,379 houses in Chittenden County within that zone. Now that we have processed all the statistics, properly represented all of our data, we can do further analysis and make sure to save. Thank you.